Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today is working again on volume 8 Roxy Journal of Stitchery project, Gathered Things. I'm still working on my base, so I'm going to do another block. I'm going to do another block and I'm thinking this one here at the moment, but as I go through my pile of goodies that I've put aside for this project, maybe either that one and that one. I'll just show you a long shot of the table. Remember last week I cut the doily into two pieces and I did a right angle cut to achieve that. Well, it stitched it up and it worked out really well. So let me just move this into shot. Look, it worked a treat. Where the cut was, that little handkerchief, napkin, whatever it is, has worked out beautifully. I've got some linen in the background, nice and neutral, ready for a prompt. Bunnies just sitting there. None of my bunnies are pinned down. They're just hopping all over the place. Some of you have suggested little locations for them, but I'm not too stressed at this moment until I know probably 15 of the prompts. Maybe bunnies will start sort of finding their homes. At the moment, they're just here. There won't be any more big bunnies join the project. The big bunnies come out of the frame and they've all been separated. The 3 frames are in position. I don't think I'll do any more frames because I sort of feel like then I've got probably another 2 to work in, which is valuable space for, I guess, other things. I also went through all of my little blocks when I finished filming the last video. I'm just going to line this up while I yibby yabba. And pulled out the ones that I really like, and I've pinned them roughly to the unfinished blocks. So they're sort of just floating around. There's one there, and this little guy here. So, oh, and that one up the top, that block hasn't found its finish yet either. So that's where I'm at. I still don't know how I'm going to join them all. Well, I know how I'm going to join them all. They will be, you know, slip stitched together. Whether there's a piece added, like a sashing, I don't know yet. I'm not, my problem is, and I think I might have said this last time, in my head, when you do that, you get a very formal look. And I'm not convinced I want that. And when we did this block here in the corner, and this happened, this piece went over, that's when I was like, you know what? Some can have that formal line, and the Sherry Iris pieces could be that scenario. So these could be sashing that kicks in here is where I'm at. Now, a few of you had the similar sort of thought in the comments, because I think I did pick these up in the last video and sort of pop them down. So if that went in here as the connecting piece, or like the Just Because quilt, I whip stitch them together and then the Sherry Iris pieces make it look like they're sashing. Because if I start moving these blocks and inserting, say, that, I've now just changed the whole width of my piece and I don't want it to get any bigger. So to get that feeling of sashing without being obvious, I'm just about 99% sure that I will whip stitch my blocks together as per the Just Because, but to get that quilted look, that would go through there as my sashing. And if they were all similar sizes, I could do, you know, a bit here, and then that ties in this concept of having a quilt that's been deconstructed. Oh gosh, I'm getting fancy now. Deconstructed quilt in amongst my gathered things. So that's where I'm at. I knew something would come to me eventually. So yeah, maybe then a sashing comes through here, and maybe a sashing joins up here or down here. You see what I mean? Or across there and up there. Who knows? A decision another day. I love how this piece is evolving slowly. It's just a breath of fresh air. Usually we have these projects, whether it be a pattern or a, you know, a pouch or whatever, and we sort of see the end in the distance. Where this is a little bit more freeform and it's refreshing. So let's assume that those two are lined up nicely. I've got my red thread here, which tells me that this block is facing the right way, so we won't have a boo-boo like we did. That can come across there. I don't think I want to see that, so that's where this came in. So I've got a see-through bit here and a see-through bit here. I sort of don't mind that. And I've got a flap of fabric hanging here, which I don't mind either. So I'm not going to cut that off just yet. I don't know. Now, these things, when I was tidying up, I had these all cut out. And I thought maybe there's some bits that could go in here. This is old advertisement that has got an art theme about it. And I sort of felt like that could work in this piece as well, especially that guy. So I thought before I put it away, and those, before I put it away, maybe we just float a few around. Oh, and the mushrooms. Remember the fabric I got down in Newcastle? Those mushrooms, I've just cut one out and just pinned it there, just to remind me that that's a potential piece. I might just leave that sit there. Are there any here that would work? So I don't mind that green, but I don't want to go down the trap of green. I'm going to keep it blue. I do like that red, but that is technically a new colour. I like that colour. You would work. Chuck you in there. I like that colour. That works. Chuck you there. Chuck, what a shocking word. You can just hear my English teacher picking me up on that. Oh, I like you too. Actually, my dentist was a real stickler when I was a kid for correct English. So often he'd pick me up on words that I was pronouncing. And one was, yep. So he'd ask me a question and I'd reply with a yep, he'll work. And he'd correct me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pieces of advertising. Maybe one of the prompts coming is advertising. So that might work anyway. So we've got them floating around as potentials. This piece here was sitting with those little guys and I thought maybe there was something in here, but I don't think there is. That's getting into colour. Yeah, nope. Stay strong. Don't be tempted. Stick to the palette of colour. Now, back to what we're doing. This I found, but it's very dainty. I thought that was a pretty piece. So that's sort of floating around. It's great having it spread out on my table. And I sort of just condense it up, like pull those 3 at the top onto these two, and then it just spreads out when I want to film. So happy days for working around the craft room. Let's have a little look through the basket of goodies. They're the most recent pieces that I have looked at. I don't think I'm ready for doilies yet. I'm still working on fabric for backgrounds. That's a good one. So I'm looking for a cotton or a linen base. There's those. I've got a little doily already up in that top corner. Let me go and point to it there. So these need to hang around because that then makes that little circle one up there. You know, logical. I don't think I want that. Well, this is good stuff for a background. I like that. This guy, see, I don't have that green. He was earmarked for this project, but it doesn't quite suit yet. Oh, hello. You and you could join the party. You could join the party. I've got a collar. Let's have a look at you. I just don't want to rummage too much, or you. Oh, little hearts. We only need one. So I hadn't dug this deep yet. I don't want to also pull out too much inspiration. You can join the little party, but I sort of feel like I could put a bit, well, you're a half bit. Put a little bit of something away too, like that. You know, but so much inspiration here from day one, and I'm getting close to finishing. You're good. Getting close to finishing my background. So I guess packing away some of this noise that's in this box is not a bad thing. As we're sort of, you know, don't want to complicate things. Let's put you there. Let's grab you. I like this. I'll just come around the side. Gosh, I suddenly feel real hot. Why do I feel hot? Can you go on there as a big piece? That would be a bit cool. It gives me that square look too that I'm striving for. Let me just move things up a bit. That would be a bit easy. Are you the right way? If I have to unpick one more doily that is upside down, I will chuck a tanty. That is going to hang over my block, but with the binding, let me move it up a bit more. Let me move this down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. With the binding, I don't mind that because that little guy could sneak over the binding. I like how it sneaks over here. So if they joined, oh goodness me, at least have the whole block showing. Oh my goodness. Okay, is that joined? Let's work with the actual space we're meant to be working with. If you came into there, oh, I like that. Like that. Got a bit of a stain there, but I can work with that. Now let's have a look at this block coming in here. That could go over easily. Okay. It's only just peeking through. So I could probably line the bottom seam up with the bottom of that lace. I don't mind too if the binding on this quilt, excuse me, is not as wide as this, the back of this quilt will have something going on, so that little lace could tuck over. This is something a bit random. I like that. It's hanging over there. It'll work with this. Just double check. That joins to there. That lace would just peek over. Do we want it to come further? Possibly. That seam and that seam don't line up, which is good. And we've got a little bit of overlap if we want it at the top. Lock it in. Now, I need something underneath all of that because I can see wadding. So that brings me to just blank fabric. What have we got here in my scraps? I might not have enough of blank fabrics. So I've got these weird shapes. So I might need to go further afoot. Yeah, they're not gonna do it. What about these tablecloths? If I start chopping into these, will that give me some blank fabric, I wonder? I think that's too big, but boy, that's pretty. It's, so if I cut that and use that elsewhere, maybe I put that on. I like that. Gives me a great space. The piece will overlap well. Or will it? I might need to come this way a little bit more. I like it down here. I love how that comes in there. This just thinking if that went under and that went over, I could do like I did before and pinch out. You know, I could take all that out or cut it like that, and then this piece would go elsewhere. Maybe I'll do that. But if that's the case, I don't quite reach over here, do I? Do I? Gosh, it's so close. How much overlap did I have here? Quite a bit. Okay, so I can scooch you along. You may not meet this edge, but that's okay. I can always put something there. So this comes along a bit further. That comes in there, so now it meets. I still like that. So I'm tempted to cut this guy back here like that. I can then slide in a piece under there to get a pop of colour, or at the moment it's just neutral. Now, we had a block. So maybe the block goes right in the middle. If it come back that way a little bit, it would come over that edge. So then I could needle turn you, which is my style for this piece, is needle turn. Wherever there's a raw edge, it's being needle turned. This would then get needle turned there. Oh, I like that. I've still got space here for a future prompt. I can drift down in there. I've got all this here. You work there. So that would mean I cut, I'm just looking at the TV, yeah, I like it. Oh, I like it, I like it. So that means I cut this guy, just double check, girl. I cut it here, let's be generous. Double check, double check. That's coming over a bit. Look, if at the end of the day I jigger it up, I don't think it matters too much because I can patch it. If I go, oops, is it up the right way? Oh my goodness. I keep doing it and not checking. And then that changes the shape. Yep, it's right. You know, if I cut that angle out, then I sit down to stitch this thing down and I realise the blooming thing is upside down. Oh my goodness, it just drives me bonkers. All right, we're going up here. And now we have a piece from the collection that can go up there. You know what I might do with this block and that block is I'm going to join them. Yeah, I'm going to join them. I will stitch it all together. So we've now got a table runner-ish size piece. Then I'll know everything's in its right spot. I think, yeah, we're going to do it. We won't join them to the rest because I don't want this to be massive and then on my lap is a big piece of fabric that I've got to struggle with. My climate's just going to get hotter and hotter as the year rolls on, and I just don't want all that fabric on my lap. So I now need a piece to be in here, and it really needs to be this guy because it's here. All right, so let's have a little extension for this. Where's that fabric? Where did that get to? Here it is. So I need a piece of this linen just to background out that area there. Doesn't have to be a perfect piece. We're just rough cutting at the moment. Where's my scissors go, guys? There they are. So it's dangerous cutting on top of all this fabric, but I'm a big girl. I think I can do it. As she slices some critical piece of her work, just getting a straight edge. That will be hidden. I might even tuck it in under this at the time. But the main thing, are you going to be big enough to cover under there? Yes, you are. Now this is needle turned, so I can actually sneak you back, I think, to there. Yep. And I've got plenty of work this week. I've got a new block with new elements, and that'll go there somehow. And I can join them. Oh, how exciting. I might just let that fabric flap in the breeze up there for now. We can always trim it off. But my guess is it will easily tuck under there. Yep. So that takes care of the fabric popping through under the white napkin. So needle turn, and that there sort of connects all this, give or take a bit. So I need a fabric now for under there and under here, you know, and there. What I might do is just put a calico in. So that means, and then I've got under there and there. All right, that's a big area. So let's pin you to you, because that linen is connected to this doily. So they become one. So I potentially could stitch all that together before it goes to my piece. All right. So I've got so many holes in all my doilies, literally decorative holes, of course. That goes there. That maybe, let's just make it simple on ourselves. I still haven't done anything with my butterfly, and some great suggestions is to cut here and slide fabric in, but I haven't done that yet because I'm still tossing up stitching around the butterfly, and that's how I make it pop. So don't stress about the butterfly, guys. I've got a few percolating ideas. especially if there's a prompt that's a butterfly or a flying insect or an insect or who knows. Well, then that could be the work. Calico. We need a piece of calico. Bear with me, just grabbing a piece of calico. Something big enough would be good. Can be scraps, because that'd be good to get rid of some scraps. This is not calico, it's a slight linen feel. So that will do the trick. I've got a selvage here. Get rid of that. Let's pop you onto there. So this is purely a backing fabric, so that when all my pieces with holes in it appear, we have ourselves covered. So if that goes on there, give or take a bit. You can always trim it. It's curling a bit. Let's do that. It's annoying me. Okay, I've got a bit left. And then we needed something here. So it's a good way to get rid of scraps, isn't it? That's not exactly calico. That feels like it's a homespun actually. Might just come down a little bit. Pins. So I guess my first step is to get this tacked down. It'll keep me busy for the rest of the day. So that's got to be tacked down. Then I might actually join it with a little slip stitch. That'd be clever. Yeah. Then I'll join it. Then I can start laying down all of the elements and my base is not going to wriggle. Does that sound logical? Like it's wriggling now. That goes there. That goes there. Probably underneath all that. Like that. This little guy is that junction. And this little guy will find its way into position, especially when this guy is joined as well. Bob's your uncle. Round of applause for the girl. She has 20 hours of stitching now. How come it takes moments to throw it together? Well, half an hour. And absolute hours of stitching. I haven't even started doing a bit of decorative stitching too. Maybe I play with that a bit. No, wait. So then that will join in there. Oh, look at that. Absolute chaos. I love it. And here comes the fudge. Up you come. All right, Fudgy's come to say hello. I'm done, so we might just spend a moment patting the fudge. Hey? Patting the fudge. That's a boy. I'm going to dodge out for an hour or so, Fudge. You'd be right to have a nap and we'll get together after lunch, hey? Do a bit of stitching. He's not a fan of when things are on my lap to be stitched. He gets a bit agitated, as you would, I guess, if you're a cat. So that little morsel there, we need to keep that floating around. I might send it to the top block. We've got little doilies floating around. Let's keep them on the table. And I still have a little pile of interesting pieces here, but I think I could eliminate that because we've just made a feature. Potentially that, because I think I want more. Oh no, we'll leave it. Leave that, leave that. Leave that. No, it's already cut into. Oh, goodness sake, just leave it all. All right. Okay, guys. I'm going to leave you all alone give the Fudgy a little bit of a pat. We have thrifted items was our second prompt. So got that one covered. Yeah, alrighty. Have a good day. Hope you got some stitching to do. And we'll catch you all in the next video. Bye for now. See you, Fudge. Say goodbye. Hey, say goodbye. No. You're going to say goodbye? Look up to them. I don't like manhandling my cat. Hey, baby boy. Hey, bit of a pat. Yeah, leave me alone. All right, see you guys.